Do what you love. Do what you love, and everything's going to be okay. We've all heard it, haven't we? It's plastered on motivational posters, thrown around by well-meaning friends, but, well, how do you even start? What if you don't know what your love is? What if life's so loud, bills, kids, chaos that you can't even hear yourself think? I'm Sam Evans. I'm the guy behind the Electric Viking channel. 7,000 videos, more than 200 million views, and I never saw life coming. I'm not here as some guru with all the answers, that's for sure. I'm a dad, a husband, someone who's been knocked flat and had to claw his way back. I spent years wrestling with that question. What do I love? And I've learned it's not about waiting for a lightning bolt of inspiration. It's about digging, trying, failing, and finding it amongst the mess, the chaos of life. Today, I want to take you through that mess, my mess. It was very messy, and it doesn't seem to ever get unmessy. From a scared kid in a rough town to building a career that's let me care for my wife, for Shanna, and our boys. It's not a fairy tale. It's real, it's raw, but it's possible for you too. I grew up in a rough town. Think broken bottles on the streets, fights spilling out of pubs, drugs in every shadow. I was the small, quiet kid, the kid who didn't stand out except for his awkwardness. One day I was walking along near the train station at school and I saw one of the guys that went to my local church. He walked up to someone else, went to shake their hand, and instead punched them in the face and then brutally beat them over a drug deal gone wrong. One night, I saw something I'll never forget. There was blood on the pavement and a woman was screaming. I was 12 years old, frozen. Two cops walked by. They saw me and they ignored it. I witnessed an event where a lady was pushed down the stairs and she fell on her head, pushed down the stairs by the owner of a pub, fell on her head, blood on the ground, blood running down her face. I was shocked. What just happened? He saw me. The guy who did this, he saw me. He's walked up to me while I'm standing there, slack-jawed, grabbed me by the throat and held me up against one of those caged wire type fences. He's held me by the throat up in the air and I'm struggling to breathe and I'm choking and he's saying, "You saw nothing. Say nothing." I've turned around, seen these police just around, basically about 20 meters away in their car, and I knocked on the window fast, ran over to their car, knocked on that window really, really fast. I'm breathing hard. I'm trying to explain incoherently what had just happened. And the police interrupted me. They said, "Kid, go home. You saw nothing." That moment burned into me. The world's messy. It can be unfair. And no one's coming to fix it for you. Confidence, to be honest, I had none. I'd look in the mirror and see a kid who'd never really amount to much. School was fine. I wasn't a particularly bright student. I got through. I finished eventually, did my degree. But it just, honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I'd sit in lectures thinking, is this it? Is this all I'm good for? I don't even know what I really want to do. And I'm now 24 years old. After uni, I landed an average Aussie job, 9 to 5, punching the clock, barely covering rent. I'd come home exhausted, flop on the couch and wonder, what is the point? When is this all going to end? Survival mode was all I knew. Financial freedom, that was for other people. People with connections, talent, luck, confidence, public speaking skills. None of that applied to me. None of it. But the question kept nagging. What do I love? And I didn't have an answer. I try stuff, riding, fixing cars, random hobbies, sold tents on eBay, sold outdoor gear, started a cycling store. It's going really, really well. An investor from overseas, from Taiwan, actually purchased half the company for $2.1 million. And then 1 year later, that company was bankrupt. I felt like I was drifting, watching life happen to me instead of shaping it. Maybe you felt that way too. like you're waiting for real permission to start living. That average Aussie wage dream, it's sold to us so hard, isn't it? Work hard, buy a house, pay off your mortgage, raise a family, retire. Eventually, when you're 75 years old, if you're still alive, get a job, pay the bills, keep your head down, do the right thing. Don't ask any questions, don't provoke anyone. This was a grind that will never let me up. Rent goes up, cars break down, and you're counting coins for groceries. I look at my payslip and I'd think, this is it. 40 hours a week for this. This isn't living. This is surviving. The worst part, time just slips away. It goes so fast. You're looking at the calendar, you're thinking, what the hell? Where did that year just go? It feels like it's been a week. It feels like it's been a month, and a year is gone. Weekends were just a breather, a time to try and de-stress, but you'd find on the weekends you're still busy doing things, and all of a sudden you're back at work on Monday. I'd see my friends in the same cycle. Tradies, office workers, all of us trading our lives for a paycheck. I wanted out. I wanted out of this. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to help people. But how could I do that? The idea of doing what I loved felt like a luxury I just could not possibly afford. Maybe you've been there, stuck in the hamster wheel, knowing there's more, but just not sure how to reach it. Then I stumbled across Jim Rohn, my mentor. Though he never knew it, because he was dead by the time I discovered him, I'd listen to his tapes in my beat-up car, rewinding lines like, create value for others and success will follow. It hit me hard, but I thought, what value? I'm no one special. Childhood scars, those years of feeling small, kept me doubting myself. I started anyway, trial and error, idea after idea. My first 10 ideas, disasters. Some people even saw my ideas. Even some of my friends, they said, wow, that's never going to work. That's never going to work. Don't even bother with that. I tried a blog, websites, marketing, starting a B&B, all family, a car repair gig, investing in various different things. Most of it lost money. Each flop stung, to be honest, but each one taught me something. What I'm not good at and what I don't love. Then I stumbled across Tony Siebert, Peter Diamandis, and other experts who were trying to tell the world a message that no one was listening to. And it's honestly, they weren't listening, and I don't know why. And even though these men are far smarter than me, I still find that today people aren't listening to them. I wanted to tell the world about what they were saying. They were saying they had looked at the data. They had looked at the truth. And that actually the world wasn't getting worse. It was in fact getting better. That actually a technological revolution was occurring where renewable energy and electric cars would save us from extinction, from this planet-wide extinction. And in fact, wouldn't just save us, but would improve our lives drastically, would improve our children's lives. It wouldn't be a point where we die and think, what the hell are our kids going to do? We're leaving them with this death hole. But actually, the exact opposite was occurring. Nobody seemed to know this because the mainstream media was brainwashing them into thinking that the hell was going, today, even now, the world is going to hell in a handcart. Donald Trump is leading us all into death and destruction. And now, even though some of that may be accurate, the truth is that we are still trending in the right direction. And that in fact, most of the world is moving away from internal combustion, from fumes, from toxic fumes that kill millions of people. And then in fact, most of the world is moving towards a better place, towards electric cars, towards solar panels and wind turbines and batteries, towards cleaner air, less cancer. It was then I had this crazy thought. What if I made a YouTube channel? I'd always believed the world was getting better, that technology, electric cars, hope, not worse, like the headlines scream. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I wanted to tell everyone, but people weren't listening. They didn't want to know. They wanted to believe what they wanted to believe, which was that actually, yeah, everything was terrible. But here was the thing. Me on camera, I was terrified. I was nervous. I joined Toastmasters to learn. First meeting at Toastmasters, which is a public speaking group, a worldwide group, I shook so bad that I think I spilled the water on the ground that I was holding. Months in, I'd still stutter through a 5-minute talk. And, I remember giving a speech, Toastmasters. And at the time, I was quite a muscular guy. I was working out a lot. And I remember someone in the audience, her job was to critique the speakers. And she said to me, I don't understand why someone like you is so lacking in confidence. Someone that looks like they should be so confident and strong. It was at that point that I thought thousands watched YouTube, millions. How could I ever do that? But I kept going. I started the channel. My first videos, I was nervous, unconfident, shaky. My first video took me 3 days. It was 88 reasons why one electric car is better than an internal combustion car. And all good points, all good and valid points. But it was so long. It took me 3 days. Almost no one watched it. I think it got 100 views. But I kept going, and eventually I got better. Little by little, bit by bit. Then Melbourne's COVID lockdowns slammed us. They locked down the city for 300 days on 6 different occasions. Relentless streets empty, kids home, everything on hold. We had these 2 boys, they couldn't go to school. I had to do something with them. I stare out the window. These boys are just sitting there doing nothing, and I had to do something with them, and I had to do something with myself. I thought, what now? This is a pressure cooker. It forced me to absolutely rethink everything. I'd always loved electric vehicles. I loved renewable energy. I loved knowing that actually the world was getting better. Tesla's rise, batteries getting exponentially cheaper. The planet shifting gears. During lockdown with nowhere to go, I started tinkering with the YouTube channel, making more videos. In fact, I said to myself, I'm going to do 7 or 8 videos a day. This is way more than anyone else on YouTube. But they've got to be good. They have to be good videos. My friends actually said to me, that's going to fail. It's stupid. Why would you do 7 or 8 videos a day? One of my very intelligent friends said to me, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. Why are you making so many videos? And I said, well, because some of my videos will create value for some people and some will create value for other people. Not everyone's going to resonate with them all. And you know what? It was true. Many of my videos are not going to resonate with you, but some others will. Some people just don't want to hear that the world is getting better. They want to hear that it's getting worse. Some people don't want to know about China's rise and about how China is taking over the global automotive industry. Some people don't want to know about how renewable energy is killing coal because they're afraid that they'll lose their job. But some people do. And here's the thing. Adversity doesn't break you. It reveals you. Those months showed me I could create something. Even in chaos, views trickled in. There was 10 at the start, then 50, then back to 20, then up to 100, then even 500. Each one felt like a tiny lifeline, like maybe, just maybe, I could make it. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building something that might just matter. But then the worst hit us. November 2022 changed everything. My wife, Shanna, the heart of our family, was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. We were in Melbourne. Jack was 8 years old and Cal was 6. One day she's laughing with the boys. The next, we're in the doctor's office and we're hearing that there's no hope. I couldn't accept that at the time. I remember first driving to the hospital, and at this point I had no idea and she had no idea. And I went in to pick her up after a small day surgery. And the nurses said, we need to see you in a room. We're going to take the boys to a different room and you and Shanna need to speak to the doctor. And the way they said it, it sounded extremely ominous. And I thought, what's about to happen here? What is going on? This is weird. Something does not add up. This is so strange. We go into this room, the doctor comes in and he says, I'm sorry, I've got bad news. And he tells us what it is. And I remember I just couldn't believe it. I thought, is this real? And then he repeated himself because I think he could see that in my face. I was thinking, this isn't going to happen to me. And then when it sunk in, I just felt like vomiting. Felt like dry reaching. It was just this sick feeling. Night after night, I researched for hours, treatments, trials, anything. I was so tired because I was obsessed with finding a cure, a solution. I found a clinic in Thailand with a shot at saving her, but it was hundreds of thousands of dollars and we didn't have it. First thing I said to Shanna was, we'll sell the car. We just bought a new electric car called a BYD Atto 3. And I said, we don't need that car. We can just sell that car. We did. We sold it immediately. And she said, no, we can't do that. And I said, of course we can sell the car. We can sell the damn house if we need to. Who needs a house? We sold the car. But right at that point in time, the channel was taking off and I started a GoFundMe campaign. I told people what had happened and people responded in a way that I absolutely never expected. Strangers, viewers, friends donated $390,000 in total, and I'll never forget that. It shocked me. Thousands of hands pulling us up when we were drowning. We sold our house, we packed up and moved to Thailand for 4 months. Shanna fought through treatments, grueling days. Hope was flickering. She seemed out of it much of the time. But eventually, after a few months of that treatment, things were looking much better. The cancer was never going to go away, but it had massively regressed. Today, we're in Newcastle. We moved there to be around her friends and family. It's her hometown. She's still here, still fighting. And every day with her is a win, especially for Jack and Cal. That fight showed me what matters. Family, purpose, not giving up. It's why working from home became a non-negotiable. I had no choice. I had to be there for her, for the boys. And if I had a 9-to-5 job, this would be impossible. The Electric Viking saved us. What started as a lockdown experiment, it grew. 7,000 videos and over 200 million views later, it ended up putting me in the top 1% of earners in Australia last year. Numbers aside, it's how I work from home. Now I'm here to be able to be involved with Shanna's appointments, Jack's rugby games, Cal's questions, triathlons, their surfing, keeping them busy, keeping them focused on things, keeping them active, keeping them feeling like they're achieving things, because being here and seeing what they're seeing, it's not easy for children. YouTube, I love it. Every frame, every edit, I talk EVs, why they're booming, why renewable energy is killing coal and killing fossil fuels, why we've reached peak oil, why the world is drastically improving, not getting worse. It is. Every positive comment, every thanks Sam. It's a community, people from all around the world, from Los Angeles to Sydney to Norway, all of it has been an incredible journey. It's proof as well that passion can become purpose and a career. I didn't need an office. I didn't need a boss. I built it from a laptop in my living room in Melbourne, Thailand, Newcastle, and other places around Australia. And even you can do it as well. Here's a thought. By 2100, you and I will probably be dead. Almost certainly. That's not grim. This is to light a fire under you. Time is short. My granddad died at aged 43, and I'm 43 now. The clock ticks louder every day. What's your legacy? For me, it's Jack and Cal growing up strong. I'm hoping that I can live and be there for them. For me, it's millions of people around the world knowing the world isn't doomed, that it's electric, that renewables will actually prevent an absolute catastrophe. What's yours? A kid inspired, a problem solved, a story told. How do you do what you love? It's a good question. Well, start small, tiny steps. You can do this in your spare time after work. I didn't launch with 200 million views. I started with a shaky video and 10 watches. Well, I wrote 10 watches, but I think it might have been less than that. Try something. Painting, cooking, playing music. You can do this. My flops taught me more than my wins. So if you fail the first time, don't give up. Create value, one person at a time. My first subscriber thanked me for explaining that EVs, explaining how, in a simple way, how they work. That's it. Just one aha moment. You can build from there. Setbacks will come. COVID, cancer, heart attacks, whatever hits you. They're not always stop signs. They're the forge. Shanna's fight, those lockdowns, my extreme tiredness, trying to find a solution. So many things have shaped me, and your struggles will shape you too. Own it. Your story doesn't need polish. When I first told my story, the video was terrible. Many people saw it, and I'm kind of embarrassed by how bad it was. My life has been messy. There's been doubt, there's been fear, but more than anything, there's been grit. That's what connects us. I'm still in it, and Shanna's cancer is still here. It's not getting better, unfortunately, but I'm still fighting for the family. So is she. The Electric Viking gave me my why, to provide, to prove that hope is real. What's your why? It's in you. It's a story that only you can tell. You're thinking, great, Sam, but how do I make a career from what I love? I've been there personally. I have. 7,000 videos, years of trial and error, and I've got answers. On the Electric Viking members page, I have a video coming within days. It's 100 ways to make a career doing what you love. Practical stuff, side hustles, skills, platforms. If you're stuck, this just might be your push. I'll put a link in the description to the members page. Take Jake, a viewer from Perth. He loved brewing beer, and he's emailed me one day and he said to me, well, mate, I've watched your stuff. I've started a YouTube channel now talking about it. Now he sells his brews locally. It's only small, but it's growing. Or Sarah in Brisbane. Well, she started sharing her tips online. At the start, it was one video a week. Now she runs workshops teaching people how to do this stuff, and she's actually made it into a career. They started just with one step. You don't need permission. You don't need a degree. You don't need $1 million. You just need to start today. If you've got a computer and you've got a passion for anything, that's all you need. Pick one thing. See where it goes. The world is waiting.